Greetings, fellow gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula.
And today we're going to talk about Jordan Peele's latest science fiction horror film, Nope. And needless to say, Nope is a yep. It's a hell yep.
Yeah. This is, whoa, this one's really good.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, this one's really good. This is the one that just cements that Jordan Peele is a great horror director.
It is.
Period.
It is also a film that is really hard to talk about without spoilers. We'll do our best to try not to reveal anything that isn't in the trailers.
Yeah, but this non-spoiler section might be a little short.
Yeah, it might have to be because the spoilers are pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is a movie where people are most curious about the things that can be spoiled.
Yeah.
You know, but luckily, there is a lot more going on.
Oh, yeah, there is. There is. A couple things to note about this movie. The first being that, like, in terms of the Jordan Peele filmography, a lot of people were worried because Jordan Peele was this very particular type of filmmaker that was making these, like, Twilight Zone-esque films. To the point where he even like was the host.
Hosted Twilight Zone.
Yeah. Of the new Twilight Zone a few years back. And that means a lot of people in their minds were making a connection between him and Shyamalan. And for a lot of people, Shyamalan really started, like, the seam started to really be shown in his third film, which, much like this film, dealt with aliens.
Yeah.
You had Signs. And then you had Nope, which that's not even like a spoiler for Nope. Like the latest trailer that they released right before the movie came out made it very clear they were dealing with aliens and UFOs. But there is spoilers beyond that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'll say this about it. Mm-hmm. I did not see it coming.
No,
that was not the answer I was expecting.
The twist was not anything I had considered going into the movie.
I had not even thought about that possibility.
Absolutely.
It has a long third act.
Yeah.
You know, it has a very long third act.
It's a lot like Jordan Peele's other two movies where about halfway through you find out what's going on and then the second half is trying to survive that.
Yeah.
Us and Get Out do that same thing.
Yeah. By the mid part of the movie, you got an idea what's going on. Mm-hmm. You may not understand all the ramifications of it, but like everything after is built off of that thing you just learned.
Yeah, it's not like Shyamalan, who for the longest time relied on the ending twist, the final twist.
Yeah, the one that happens right for the credits.
You know, like Jordan Peele is a much more like classic 70s style cinema. You begin with intrigue, and then once you reveal what's going on, the rest of the movie's about that.
Yeah, or maybe another way of putting it is he is very much what happens for the next hour after you get to the Twilight Zone twist.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that.
You know,
like, but I was thinking like movies like Stepford Wives. About halfway through.
Oh yeah, that's a good comparison. That's a very good comparison. Yeah. The movie I actually likened watching Nope to was actually Psycho.
Yeah,
because
I could see that.
I walked out going, this must be how the original audience is a Psycho felt, because holy fucking shit, did I not see that coming.
I would say the movie it made me think of the most, but unfortunately, I think that might reveal too much.
Okay, let's save it.
I'll save it for when we get to the spoiler section. But needless to say, it was a Spielberg film, and there's a million Spielberg films you might have in your head. But like,
yeah.
What's really great about this film is that with the first two films that he made, he went all in on hardcore social commentary. Yeah. You know, the first Get Out was all about race and race relations in America between the more liberal-minded people and black people. Yeah. And that's kind of what Get Out was all like tackling. Us was a little bit more broad. It was a lot more about class issues.
Yeah, it's way more about class difference.
The lower class having to rise up against the higher class, and the higher class can only exist and benefit from society as long as the lower class exists and has nothing.
Yeah.
The haves versus the have-nots. It was also a lot more allegorical.
Yeah, it was way more allegorical, whereas the first one was kind of a straight-up thriller.
And if that aspect of Us bugged you, this movie's way more straightforward.
It's just as allegorical, but it's not as in your face.
Yeah, not at all.
Because it's hidden behind the narrative.
Exactly. There is things being talked about in this movie, and they do a pretty good job about it. Like what it's like being a grunt worker in Hollywood. There's a lot of commentary about that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of commentary about being a black worker in Hollywood.
Yep.
As well as the history of black people a little bit in Hollywood is talked about a bit.
Yep.
There's also some commentary on something that's actually very relevant to today. People going out of their way to try to achieve some semblance of notoriety or fame.
Oh, yeah.
And it talks about all of that. But at the end of the day, it is a much more straightforward genre movie than either of his other two films.
Oh,
which is really cool.
Yes.
So if the allegorical social commentary stuff is a little much for you in the previous films, which I disagree, but if they are, you might like this one a little bit more because it's a little bit more in the background and it's a little bit more...
Yeah, there's something, the more literal thing that is happening is very engaging.
Yeah, we have this argument in the horror circles all the time because there's two types of monster movies you see these days in the horror genre. There are the ones that are kind of like the Babadook.
Yeah.
And Babadook monster movies are a lot more metaphorical. They're a lot more... The creature is a creature, but it also is a metaphor for something else.
Yeah. It's a symbol for something.
In Babadook's case, it's grief. Slapface, it's about abuse.
Yeah.
And the cycle of abuse. And there are various movies like that. And then there are more straightforward monster movies like Jaws, where there's a lot going on and there is social commentary in the movie, but the Jaws monster is just a shark.
Yeah, it's man versus beast.
It's just a shark. It's just eating people. It's not a metaphor for anything.
Right.
Other than maybe like man versus nature.
Exactly. But if you didn't get that in Jaws, you're still going to have a really good time watching a shark try to eat a guy.
It's like the difference between the first Godzilla movie and later Godzilla movies,
Yes.
The first Godzilla movie, very much a metaphor for the atomic bomb and Cold War. And then later Godzilla movies, they're just monsters punching each other. There's not as much...
Yeah, it's not as much about the commentary. It's more adventure story.
This movie is really interesting because I feel like, while being a different type of movie than all of those movies we just mentioned, very different than all of them, it is a movie that kind of bridges that gap between metaphor and just straightforward genre picture.
Yeah, because if you tried to separate, you could separate the metaphor from the plot.
Yeah,
and you could separate the two from the plot and have very, very, and use them separately and have a very, very usable movie.
Yeah.
But the fact that this movie kind of blended it together, like kind of perfectly balanced.
The downside of it is, because this movie's like that, there's a lot of people who are going to watch the movie and all the commentary stuff's going to go way over their heads.
Oh, yeah.
But with all that said, it is still a tense fucking movie. This is a science fiction horror film. Also an action film at times. Like, there's some action set pieces in this that, like, are definitely Spielbergian.
This is the one he did that felt the most like a Twilight Zone episode.
Spielberg too.
Yeah.
Like Spielberg always had that great balance between like tension and drama and humor and then action packed.
Yeah. Like kind of like Jaws.
Yeah. Jaws or Duel or E.T. even had that.
That's true.
Even though E.T. was not like a horror film, there are moments in E.T. where they're literally afraid of E.T. like it's the thing. It's like,
They're afraid it's like an alien's going to eat people.
Exactly.
And as a little kid, you feel that.
Close Encounters is another great one in that way. Even though Close Encounters is way more of a drama than the other films, there's still some action-packed sequences, and there's still sequences of pure tension. Because at the end of the day, you don't know if the aliens in that movie mean
that ending sequence with the the classic that goes on for fucking ever.
That sequence,
the whole time you have no idea what's going to go down.
And awe-inspiring. I think that's another element that I'm thinking from Spielberg. This movie's a lot more awe-inspiring than some of his other movies.
It is. I did notice that this is the movie where he did the Spielberg shot.
He did. It's probably why I had Spielberg in my brain. It felt like the Spielberg blockbuster,
Yeah. They even had one of those shots in the trailer where the guy's just like, and the joke really is every time they do that, it's the same punchline, which is
Jurassic Park. Nope. Jurassic Park is probably the best example of him hitting all the notes.
Yes.
There's social commentary in Jurassic Park. There's horror sequences in Jurassic Park. There's action sequences in Jurassic Park. There's funny sequences in Jurassic Park. This movie's kind of like that. It's got all those elements.
Yeah, it's really, really, really good.
And I fucking love it. It's definitely another movie on my top 10 end of the year list. Definitely, without a doubt.
Oh yeah, Jesus. Yeah, we're gonna have to like just completely like fucking redo. I've given up after watching Nope. I'm like, no, I give up. Like, I'm just gonna have to wait till the end of the year.
I've been maintaining a letterboxd list of like my favorite movies, the ones that are like definitely contenders.
Yeah.
And right now I'm at 9.
Oh, okay. So you got 1 more to go.
9 solid contenders for it, and Nope is definitely on there now.
Yeah.
And the thing is, there are so many more movies to come out this year, many of which I've heard great things about. So
yeah,
I think the end of the year is going to be hard when I'm finally compiling it.
Because right now it's for me it's a 3-way tie between Nope, The Sadness, and fucking X.
Oh yeah, those are on my list. Same thing with Crimes of the Future.
Yeah.
And...
Oh shit, Crimes of the Future.
yeah, exactly.
Oh shit, I forgot Crimes of the Future.
yeah.
Oh man. Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Now I got a fucking dilemma on my hands again. You know? Like,
you're welcome. Nope is currently available only in theaters. It will probably hit streaming by next month, I'm guessing, because the movies hit streaming a lot faster now, but it's currently only available in theaters. And I recommend, if you are vaccinated, if you feel safe enough heading out to the theaters, go ahead and check it out and support this movie because it's damn good.
Yeah, if you're only going to sneak out and risk COVID once for a movie this year.
This is the one.
This is the one.
100%.
You know.
And I want Jordan Peele to continue making movies because he continues to blow me away every time. And what I like about it is he blows me away in a different way each time. Yes. You know, like it's not the same experience. Yeah. Even though there are traits of the Jordan Peele movie, he's still making different movies each time.
Yeah, this is also, actually, it's another thing I wanted to bring up. This is also the funniest.
Oh, yeah, I would agree. Yeah. I would agree. It has the most overt, hilarious moments.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, God, it was so great seeing guy whose name I can't fucking pronounce again. He was also the star of Get Out.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest surprises in this movie, and this is just me, like, not fully paying attention to the trailer the first time I watched it. I did not realize Michael Wincott was in this movie.
Me neither.
And that he was in a prominent role, too.
Yeah.
But it was really awesome to fucking see Michael Wincott again.
Yeah, it was really weird. It was like, hey, Michael Wincott. We haven't seen that guy in a fat minute.
For those of you who don't know, he was the bad guy in The Crow.
Yeah.
The first Crow. You'll know him when you see him because he's got a very specific presence and he's got that voice.
Yeah, once you hear his voice, you're like,
I know that guy.
Yeah.
He was a character actor in the
90s. Yeah. And he still is. He's just a different kind of cowboy.
He was kind of weird. Oh, that's another element. That's another thing we forgot to mention about this movie. It is a sci-fi horror movie. It is about Hollywood and aliens and UFOs. But it's also low-key a Western.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right down to the fact that when you get to the finale of the movie, they have like a Western style, like triumphant John Williams music playing.
Yeah. It feels like the Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah. You know, like you're watching. It's like at the
or the Wild Bunch.
Yeah. Well, at the very end, it's like the music turned into a John Wayne movie. You know,
yeah.
And it's really fucking cool because it's cool how it blends in with everything else he's doing in the movie. To the point where you might not even notice that he's doing a Western thing.
Yeah. Like, oh man, no, you could probably totally cut like the last 5 minutes of this movie with Ecstasy of Gold, and it would still work.
You probably could. If you're not sold yet, wait till we get to the spoilers. Maybe the spoilers will entice you to check out the movie.
Yeah.
Because there's another type of movie that this is, but telling you what that is would be a spoiler. And with that said, my fellow gorehounds, let us move on to the spoilers. Motherfuckers, if you do not want to be spoiled, turn back now, because I'm going to tell you the other type of movie this is. This movie is not just a science fiction movie. It is not just a action, drama, horror film. It is not just a Western. It is also a kaiju film. This movie is about a UFO that is an unidentified flying object from space, but it's a living creature.
Yeah, it's a giant flying monster.
Yeah, that is eating people and horses.
Yep. Where did it come from? Nobody knows.
I like there's a point in the movie where Michael Wincott is singing Flying Purple People Eater.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how did you manage to make this scene like nearly tear me up a bit? Like,
yeah. Look, we got Michael Wincott. We got to get this guy to recite Flying Purple People Eater, man.
And here's where the movie starts to show me shit I have never seen before.
Yes.
When the way this creature operates, it starts off in a very like UFO kind of shape, and it's got like this mouth at the bottom that sucks things up in. And then over the course of the movie, it like evolves.
Yeah, like, it's like a jellyfish.
Yeah, it turns into this giant space jellyfish in the sky. I don't know what else to say other than while watching it in the theaters on the big screen, staring up at it, to me, it was like having a Lovecraftian experience.
Yeah, it was.
You know?
It was in broad fucking daylight.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You see this a lot in daylight.
There's so many fucking hidden concept jokes.
Oh, yeah.
Like the fact that the fucking final fight between the monster and them literally happens at high noon.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It does. 100%. And you got him riding the horse the whole time.
Yeah.
This is also a movie that could have low-key been called Don't Look Up. I know there was another movie called that recently, and I liked that other movie. But this movie, it would have been a more accurate title, because one of the things they learn over the course of this movie is you can't look at the creature. If you look at the creature, it'll attack you.
Yeah, you can see the creature, but if you look at it, it targets you.
It's kind of like dealing with like a lion or something, you know?
Yeah.
The lion might just fucking leave you alone if you're on your own walking or whatever, but if you look it in the eye...
Then it has to wonder whether or not you're trying to attack it.
Yeah. It's like, are you challenging it now? Which is a really cool fucking detail, and it explains like some of the weird erratic behaviors of the creature over the course of the movie.
Yeah, because it's not entirely predictable.
No. And the Spielberg movie that it actually reminded me of the most was Jaws. But I worried if I told you that, you would put together that it was a monster movie.
It had a lot of Jaws beats in it, particularly in the leading up to the climax.
Yeah.
You know, where they're trying to like capture and take a photograph of the goddamn thing.
Well, you have that theme of like trying to capitalize on the creature, because the whole premise of this movie is that the two main characters are trying to capture footage of the creature so that they can sell on like the black market or the internet or whatever as authentic UFO footage and make a quick buck, because their business as horse wranglers in Hollywood has started to die.
The real thing that fucking does it is that their dad, the guy who, you know, really brought the ranch up, gets killed in an accident. Yeah, an accident that turned out to be related to the creature. Yes. Because the creature can digest people, but it doesn't digest objects. So, it can't digest non-organic matter.
Yeah, so what ends up happening in the beginning of the movie, in this really cool what the fuck scene, because you have no idea why it happened at the beginning, but it's explained later, all these random objects just start falling from the sky, and one just slashes the dad across the face.
Yeah, and just kills him, like pierces his skull and shit.
And then once he dies, the business starts to falter afterwards, because he was the OG. He understood. Yeah, how it all worked, and he was the salesman, and he had the charisma. And the problem is that he understood the horses, and he had the charisma. Yeah. Between the two siblings that are the main characters of this movie, one has the charisma, one knows the horses. Yeah. But they don't get along together very well.
Yeah, it's really all about this brother and sister coming together and understanding each other. You know, that's the real story.
The theme of trying to exploit like a monster, trying to make money even though people are dying. Yeah. That's throughout this movie. You have the idea of a group of people banding together who really don't like each other to try to take this thing down, including the grumpy old man. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Michael Wincott is totally like Quint by way of fucking Werner Herzog.
Yeah. He's like the Werner Herzog Quint. Because what Michael Wincott plays in this movie is a cinematographer, a Hollywood cinematographer. He's done everything from Oscar-winning movies to award-winning nature documentaries and even commercials. And that's how they are introduced to him. And they try to hire him to help capture the monster because they realize the monster's presence shuts down technology. So that means they film it analogly, which means filming it on film.
Yeah. And they have to use like Bolexes and shit because they're hand cranked.
And so naturally, they want this Hollywood-ass cinematographer to come in and film the thing. And what's really cool is you have this like detail throughout the movie where every time it cuts to him when they're calling him, he's editing together these like nature documentaries, but he's never quite happy with the footage that he's putting together. Yeah. And the footage that he's putting together is always like a monster attacking another monster. So
it's a creature eating another creature.
Yeah, so you have like a lion attacking a gazelle or something like that, or a snake attacking like a frog.
Yeah, and that shit he does at the end. Yeah. Where they get the footage of the thing, and they're done, and the guy's like, I'm not done.
Yeah.
And you're like, what else is there to do? He literally runs out there in order to get footage of the monster eating him.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the footage he couldn't get from the little creatures because there was always like this like voyeur footage.
Yeah.
He wanted like the
he wanted it right up there.
That's where the art is.
Yeah, and he knew it was going to kill him.
Yeah.
He knew it was going to kill him, but it wasn't going to destroy the camera because the fucking monster doesn't digest non-organic things.
And that's another theme in this movie. The theme of like willing to like go to insane lengths for your art. That's embodied by Michael Wincott's subplot.
Oh yeah, and that's one of the other major themes of the movie.
Yeah,
and why it's called Nope.
Now, the one theme in the movie that we can't actually talk about in the non-spoiler section because it is a spoiler is there's also a theme of working with animals, animal abuse, and in particular, like in the film industry.
Yeah, especially as it pertains to motion picture business.
Yes, absolutely. Because in the motion picture business, you have a lot of animals on set. Like if there's a dog in a shot, if it's one of those like weird fucking like 60s movies where there's a fucking monkey for some reason.
Yeah.
Or if people are riding horses, there are animals there.
Yeah.
So you have a main character who respects animals.
Yeah.
And knows animals and understands animals. And is frustrated with how people on film sets don't respect the animal.
Yeah. They think that an animal is just like any other performer, and it isn't.
And everyone looks down on him at the beginning of the movie for this respect of the animals. Like his sister just thinks he's being dumb or stupid, like who cares? And everyone on the film set just wants to get the shot.
Right.
Like, you know.
Yeah, but they're not realizing what he's trying to tell them is like, no, you still got wild animals.
Yeah. If you antagonize it, if you don't let it rest, it's going to attack you. You know?
Yeah, it's going to get mad.
Even if it's a horse.
Yeah.
But at the end of the movie, it's his respect and understanding of animals that allows them to take this thing down in the first place.
Yep.
You know, because he gets it. You know, he understands how to wrangle an animal. He's a fucking horse wrangler. He's done it his whole life. And he understands, like, not to look it in the eye and when to look it in the eye when you want it to follow you and chase you. And how to, like, trick it to do what you want because he's using animal brain. And I thought that's really cool. But there's also, like, this really fucked up subplot that is basically the backstory for one of the side characters, the Steven Yeun character.
Yeah.
Who plays a former child star from the 80s, who now runs this, like, cowboy ranch, basically banking a lot on his old fame as a child star. But at some point in his past, he had this traumatic experience where he was on a sitcom in the 90s, and this monkey went on a rampage and, like...
murdered the cast.
And crew.
It's funny as shit. It's horrid, but it is so fucking funny.
It's probably the most horrifying scene in the movie, actually.
Yeah.
Which is saying a lot, because you watch people get digested by a monster. It's like a short film in and of itself when you see it.
Yes.
And it doesn't have anything, like, literal to do with the plot of the movie, but has everything to do allegorically with the themes of the movie.
Yes.
You know, with the exploitation of Hollywood, animal abuse, respecting animals, as well as people trying to, like, exploit something for a buck.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the repeated mistake that he's the only one that doesn't make.
The best way I can describe the monkey on a rampage scene, though, is he fucking, I swear to God, he turned the monkey into the raptors from fucking Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's that tense. It's like when the kids are fucking in the kitchen hiding from the raptors, there's a kid hiding under a table from the fucking monkey, and it's like that. Like,
yeah, as deathly serious as it's happening, it just relies on the concept that it's a fucking chimp doing this to make it funny.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. As well, it was weirdly touching. Like the moment where the monkey gives on the fist bump that they used to do. It was like, oh, man. That scene has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. It actually does.
It has everything to do with the movie.
But it's the one case where the movie's a little bit more allegorical than literal.
Get down to my interpretation of what the movie's really saying.
Sure.
Fame, Hollywood, movie making. It's a wild animal, man.
Yeah.
You gotta respect it, and you gotta know when to say no.
I think there's definitely a lot of that. I would definitely be interested in hearing Jordan Peele talk about his process behind the movie.
Oh, God, yeah.
But I definitely took a lot of that, too.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's just like, hey, sometimes the answer is nope. You're not going to do it. That's it. Oh, God, no. It really did feel like watching like a really amazing episode of The Twilight Zone.
I love this movie. This is the second movie to give me a raining blood scene. The first one I remember was Evil Dead.
Evil Dead the remake. Yeah, 2013.
This one gave me another one because there's a point in which it literally eats an entire fucking stadium of people and then flies over their house to like digest, and just blood just starts pouring out of it like rain.
Yeah.
And so the whole house is covered in blood, and I'm just like, that's fucking metal.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably time for us to wrap it up.
Yeah. Let's just wrap this shit up.
Where can they find you, Count Jackula?
Oh, you can find me on Twitch, where I stream twice a week. Always look for me around like 6 o'clock, in the evening. And you can follow me on Twitter at Counting Jack and on Instagram at Satanic Jacket. What about you?
Y'all know me. I'm the Horror Guru. Find me at the Horror Guru on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram, and Facebook. Just look up the Horror Guru or Blood Splattered Cinema, and I'll be there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages. And remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, even $1 a month can go a long way.
But we will love you forever if you donate more.
If you made it this far into the vlog, then I want you to comment below. And be sure to comment below using the hashtag ApeShit. Use the hashtag ApeShit. That way I know, that way Jack knows, that way the whole world knows you watched this vlog all the way through. Anyway, my fellow gorehounds, peace out, and I'll catch y'all later.